we're gonna do some rolling back takes. I wanna start teaching this after octopus guard because in my opinion, with the abundance of higher percentage things from side control, this is one of the more reasonable places to do it, okay? So for example, if Kevin was flat, and this was less like an octopus and more like me playing a reverse underhook, guys, I'm probably not gonna do a rolling back take from here, okay? If he's just kind of hanging out here, I'm gonna look for my basic things where we basically step over like last week, bundle the legs, or maybe if he's, you know, at the beginner level, just stepping over and going to mount, maybe posting on the hips and going to north south, stuff like that. It's different when he has octopus control here, okay? Not just here, but especially when he starts to build up and whatnot, okay? It's hard to step over the legs, especially if we're looking at a true octopus guard where he has a butterfly hook or that coyote hook, right? It's hard to pass. Not to mention, we're talking about back takes right now too. When he turns to his side to play octopus, technically what is he doing? Exposing his back, right? That's kind of how I formulate those options too. Is there back exposure, is there not back exposure? And for the attacks that we're doing this week, which way is he pressuring into me? We're gonna start with this elbow wide, okay? And guys, I'm gonna look to grab his trap here, okay? We're gonna be using this grip and a grip on his hip to control the rotation of his hips as we move here, which is one of the big problems with this position, okay? At the same time, what we're also doing is we are still stepping over the leg like prior weeks, okay? This is another reason I would choose to do a rolling back take. If Kevin is kicking this bottom leg away from me, okay, it can be really hard to draw the legs in to get that mounted position like you're favoring, right? So from here, what I'm gonna look to do is actually float between the hip and the knee here, okay, if I need to. And I'm gonna get my instep right above his knee as I straighten my hamstring, okay? So essentially, this is our position now, guys. What does all of this do, all right? This helps me maintain position. If Kevin tries to roll to his stomach, very difficult. If he tries to go flat to his back again, also very difficult, okay? Now, very important, I'm gonna say this again, you need to stay above the knees. If I go below the knees towards the calves, that doesn't do anything, okay? Just like when we bundled the legs for mount, okay? Guys, if you have the space and flexibility, if he lets you just bring this foot under, great. But remember, you can always take this hand off the hip and pull this through, okay? So for the first half of class, this is like our headquarters, right? So we actually have back takes over both shoulders here. And it just depends on, again, what he's doing. Right now, he's not doing anything. He's on his side. I'm not allowing him to build height, which is what I should be doing if somebody's playing octopus guard on me. The more he builds height, the worse it is for me, all right? So now that we're locked here, it will be a safer thing to do the main rolling back take where we go over the top shoulder here, okay? So from here, okay, I'm gonna start to come up, I'm gonna look at his feet, and I'm rolling over my top shoulder as I use both the hip grip and the trap grip to pull him on top of me, okay? So this is a position that's commonly referred to as the wedge, okay? You guys see Kevin's hips are like shelved up on top of me. The more I do that and the more I draw my knees in this position, the more control I have over his hips. Can you move around a little bit? Okay, see? I mean, eventually he could get out, but as long as I stay engaged here, I build myself, or I give myself more and more time. Right? Now, from here, we're gonna do the most basic back take first before we start piling on this, all right? All I'm gonna do is start to stomp my feet to bring his hips past me. Okay, I'm gonna switch hooks. Okay. Same thing here, guys. When I put in my first hook, it goes above the knee. If I go below the knee, Kevin's gonna go right over that leg. Okay. Try to go over my leg now. See, good. Other problem here is him trying to turn to turtle. So as we return him to the mat, we take our grips here and we control that top shoulder. So again, this is what we refer to as that diagonal control from the top shoulder to the bottom hip. Try to walk away from me. Good. Try to turn to your knees. Good. And then as I do all this, I can start switching to the seat belt. And remember, guys, one of the main resistances we have here is our hip escape. And as we hip escape, this also presents an important job, which is to get my hips higher than his, my chest on his back, top hook in. So we have different grip options. Okay, Nogi, we're pretty much primarily just grabbing this leg and stepping over. Nothing wrong with doing that here. Okay, if you do need a little extra leverage, you can make a hand grip here, okay? That's same thing on the bottom leg. Here, we can grab the inside of the knee, so it's easier to bring the foot, okay? This hand, honestly guys, even in the gi, I do still like to grab the shoulder. If it's your preference, you can put your 4 fingers inside the collar, or just grab the hump of the gi right here. Same thing here. If it's your preference to grab the hip as you go, that's fine. Otherwise, the belt is fine. As we start to come up, it still functions the same as no gi. I'm using these grips to load them up on top of me, okay? So as I roll over, I bring these grips with me. So I got them on top of me here. I'm pulling my knee, okay? You guys should be able to hold your partner here for at least a little bit. Like, remember, try to move your legs, try to draw, something like that. Okay, see? So when I'm ready, I just stomp and trade my jump. Okay, that's my first. From here, we can start the hip escape. Grab the top shoulder. Remember, we're grabbing the top shoulder so Romero does not touch his knees. Yeah, that diagonal control grip. Seatbelt grip. Then these are the versions that you guys are probably more used to seeing, okay, especially in scrambles. Like a lot of times, like people don't even teach to hook this leg. It's just like get up and go, right? Okay, a lot of times these can tend to be faster. Now I don't necessarily recommend that at first, okay? Just like a lot of other things we practice. Let's do it slow and mechanical. So we understand from point A to point B, like everything that's happening. And of course, things that can go wrong here. So why is this bad for me? I'll just give you guys a few examples here. If I let him dominate me here, not only can he build height, but since we're on the topic of back takes, you can take this leg scoop, pull me on top of him, and he'll take my back. Yeah. Watch, when I roll, there is a point here, and you guys probably feel this when you're rolling, like it feels like you're kind of stuck. That's the point where you really need to load their weight, okay? So from here, okay, right about here, okay, that's when I'll get this hand deeper if I need to, and I'll really start to pull him on top of me. Just be careful not to bring him too far this way. There's definitely stuff we can do here, but this is tough. Like, if this happens, I'm usually thinking about stomping my right leg. That's what I mean by a balancing act. When you guys get here with your bottom hook in, and you use that detail where you hip escape, it's very likely they're gonna keep their elbow attached to their knee, right? So guys, let's not forget about things like the half back here, where we cross our feet, pinch our knees, and rotate the spine to open up that second hook. If you are able to capture both legs, okay, or just generally he's not doing a good job of building height here, you can go to the last few weeks where we just come up here, okay, we bundle the legs and go to mount. Or if he's sitting up with me, there's a lot of easy ways to just go to chair, sit, back, take style attacks here as well. Talk about like our other options here when he starts to rise in the octopus guard, okay? So really when we're playing here, the next stage would be him coming up to his elbow or his hand, right? Good news is, so you guys are gonna take the same grips, but this time we're gonna do almost a sideways roll over our other shoulder because he's giving me space underneath of him now, okay? So as I roll and as I shelve the hips, this hand is gonna turn into the underhook for my seatbelt grip when I take his back, all right? So I'm gonna do a slow mechanical version first, okay? So as I roll, this time I'm looking at his armpit, so I'm going the other direction, okay? Again, I'm gonna pull him on top of me, and look, we're just gonna do a reverse hip escape. Okay? This is very similar to the things that we do when we do back control retention, okay? Then from here, we're doing a lot of the same things, okay? All right, so same position. Quite often when we're doing this in a scramble, we're not gonna have time to get this foot under this knee, okay? This is like, especially if you guys watch competition footage, it's more common than it goes down. Okay. Still gonna grab the trap, still gonna grab the waist here, okay? Now we're going over our bottom shoulder. Okay, off these boxes here, okay? Still switching hooks, and now we're doing our hip escape. Finish the back take, okay? Seatbelt, do not put the hook in right here. I don't care if you feel like it's close. Okay, Grant will tell you this is bad back control. You can even let it go in. Okay. Try to choke somebody like this. Not too strong. Okay. So guys, whenever you take the back here, hip escape. Big difference there. You don't necessarily, against somebody that's game here, have your choice of what you want to do from those first situations, right? So guys, look, if we're here, okay, and he's dedicated to staying down here, or maybe even trying to go flat, go ahead, go flat. See, he's pulling you this way. If Ulysses comes up, push back into me with this elbow or your hand, like push in opposition. Yeah, see, it's hard to roll, okay, but it's easy to go this way. Doing these techniques are actually some of the best intros to the Berimbolo system. These comes up, okay, we start to roll through, and some of you are electing to do things like this, okay? This isn't bad, okay, but it's gonna take you to different techniques where we go to places like this and stretch the person out. Now keep that idea in place, guys, that seesaw momentum, because it's also going to apply to what we're doing next. And it's very important for what we're doing next, because he's going to build a top position, he's going to have good base here. So we really need to pay attention to that this time. And this time, instead of staying on his hand or his elbow, he builds height all the way up to his knees, and we're basically in a reverse turtle situation here. Here's the difference between octopus and not octopus. Look, he has the grip on me. What I would prefer is to turn this into a normal turtle situation where I turn here. Don't let go, okay? See, I'm stuck. If Ulysses ever lets go, guys, there's nothing stopping you here from putting in the spiral rider, doing all the things we normally do, okay? So this goes back to the reason I'm showing you guys rolling back takes this week. We're using this as like what people call an unreasonable move. Here it's quite a reasonable reaction, a reasonable counter. First thing here, okay? We are going to start to look for the same grips. Where I go over the trap and grab the hip, okay? If I need more space here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start to post my back leg, okay? And later on, when we start to add more layers to this, we can actually look to do things we normally do in turtle, where we bring him forwards and hook his leg here with that coyote hook or that Kosoto hook, okay? Right now, we're just going to keep it really basic. From here, what I'm going to look to do is actually just fall back and pull him on top of me. One of the easiest entries we can do here, okay? Now, let's get that idea of momentum right away with this good base, okay? Pushing into him, okay? This should look familiar from a lot of the overhead sweeps from Octopus, and then falling back. Again, pulling his weight on top of us, okay? Now, guys, there's a big difference this time. When I pull him on top of me, there's no control with the legs. This leg isn't in, this leg isn't in, okay? Make sure you're taking your knees and you're bringing them tight to your body. So again, if Ulysses tries to come off here, it's very difficult. And I'm not gonna stay here for very long. So keep this leg straight, please. All right. Sometimes this can be difficult, like very weak leverage here. So what we're gonna look to do is use our insteps now. Now we're adding more layers to our back takes. So I'm gonna take my outside leg, take my instep, grab his shin and fold this to feed to my other leg. Now I'm gonna put this instep in. So this is what we refer to as a twister hook, okay? Some people figure four of their legs here, lots of different things. For now, I want you guys playing with just the instep. Now, very important detail here, keep your knee flared. Watch when I unflare my knee. Okay, his leg starts to go straight and this slips off. We're not going parallel, we're going perpendicular with this, okay? Try to keep your leg straight. See, I keep my knee rotated out so my leg is perpendicular to his. Now it should be an easy thing as I flare to start to bring his hips to the mat. So again, we can switch to the same control here and come up, okay? So I see some of you trying to do it from here. Like, this is a weak pull, guys. I'm misaligned with my pull, first of all, okay? I'm seeing a lot of you do it like kind of 45 degrees, same thing. And if I do manage to pull him on top of me at 45 degrees, we're gonna be more parallel here. And for some of you, when we're more parallel here, it's going to be harder for you to put in the hook. Okay? We're going to talk about that a little more on the next technique too. I was posting this back leg, right? This is almost a good cue to tell you to go fully perpendicular, like 90 degrees, like a T, right? This way, all right? So when I pull him on top of me, okay, we should be misaligned here. You see, I'm going this way, he's going this way, all right? That way, when I go to play with this leg here, it's a lot easier to put that hook in. Same idea here. We're using this to load the weight, guys. Okay, so elbows tight to your body. All right, from here, if he feels really heavy, we'll push into him a little bit first, and then we'll start to pull. Okay. Don't leave your knees relaxed like this. Kevin's gonna start moving around pretty quick. Okay. Keep your elbows tight and keep your knees tight. Now, from here, little butterfly goes. 1, and then 2. Okay, and then I flare my knee. And I control the shoulder. We're gonna go back to the rolling back take now. Okay? We're gonna get a variation from turtle. Okay, guys, we are like bringing ourselves over the person, like darting this way. We've seen this a lot from Octopus the last few weeks. I don't want to smash my face into that, right? So to complement that, we're gonna switch our grips here. I'm just gonna make that trap grip the waist grip now, okay? Now, very important, guys, and this is how I want you to practice it so you can understand how to manipulate the weight here, okay? Look at Ulysses, he's gonna stay strong into his knees. If I just haphazardly roll over here with no lower body control, that's the type of stuff that's gonna happen. Again, you saw with the last one, I started to post this leg, okay? I'm gonna start to basically go active toes. So I'm almost essentially shoveling this hip and knee off of the floor to make his base light, okay? So I don't just dive over, watch my toes. Pushing, 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 you see that rising? And that's when I post and shoulder roll here, okay? Slightly different than last time, but not a huge deal. Last time I was more perpendicular, this time I'm more parallel with him, okay? Eventually, like I wanna have this position be its own week of classes, okay? Because there's a lot of cool stuff that can happen here. And you know, a lot of stuff he can do to me, which you guys need to respect here, okay? So again, if his leg is close, okay, no, that's fine. We'll just open it up as much as we need to, get that hook in, and we have that stomp finish. If not, like if he's stretching his leg, guys, remember this is where we can really start to utilize that twister hook to get control of this leg if he's being a nuisance. Love that word. Okay. Knee flared, turn, control the shoulder. You guys see everything's the same. Guys, don't forget to do this. I'm seeing too many of you do this. Bridge up high. Don't do shit like this. Okay, yeah. He's not gonna let you. Hip escape. Okay. Even if you can throw your hook in here, okay, you're also giving him his first hook. So if you don't play this hook efficiently, okay, Grant, go ahead and take my back. Right. Not good. Guys, remember, we're not just jumping over them, okay? We're switching our grips here, and this hand's always gonna be a post, okay? From here, we're going active toes, and we really wanna feel this hip and this knee start to come up off of the ground. You guys see that? That's my cue to commit to this now, okay? If he leaves his leg here, perfect, easy day. Stop, okay? If he starts to stretch his leg and I can't get this in the first place, okay, we can start to look for more in-step control with the twister hook here, okay? Then flare our knee. And start to rise up here as we take it back. Just remember, and I'll post a link for this later too so you guys can review it. We're using a lot of the same mechanics we do when we recover the pack when somebody's escaping. So for example, Ulysses is doing the usual thing where he's bridging up to his feet. And he's like walking over my hook. That's when we do things like that reverse hip escape to bring it back over, okay? And if we do run into situations here where he gets all the way over this leg, and like with whatever grips we have, like we truly can't pull him on top of us or to the other side. Remember from all those sequences too, we can look to do things like tripod here, and go to different styles of back takes like the chair sit, okay?